राय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते राधानाथ स्वामिनिति नामिने नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पश्चात्य देशतारिणे ओम ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितमेन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सकगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवम् साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजन सहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पादान् सकगण ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगत्पदे गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसूते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौरभक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। ईश्वरा परम कृष्णा सच्चिदानंद विग्रह अनादिरादिर गोविंद सर्व कारण कारणम। हरे कृष्ण। By Lord Sri Krishna's causeless mercy, we are nicely studying in the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita every Sunday morning India time and Saturday evening US time. So we finished 68 slokas. So today we are going to finish the second chapter successfully, which has got 72 verses. So as far as Krishna is concerned, in the second chapter, from the sloka number 11 to 53, Krishna has given the knowledge to Arjuna. In fact, Krishna has told very clearly what is good for Arjuna. But afterwards, Arjuna is asking a lot of questions based on what Krishna said. That's why we are having 18 chapters, 700 slokas, 700 verses. That is mainly because Arjuna is asking a lot of questions. So now we are studying, the answers given by Krishna for a very important question, that is Sthita Prajna. That means a person who is situated, that means who is established in intelligence, steady intelligence. So that's what Sthita Prajna. Prajna means intelligence. So because Krishna said at the end, when a person realizes that he is not the body, he is the soul, and then who gets this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita and realizes that realizes that he is not he doesn't have any rights over the results, only rights over to perform our activity. So karmanyeva adhikaraste ma paleshu kadasana. So then ma karma pala heturbur. So we will not think that we are the cause for the results. And mate sangos akarmani, then we won't be attached to not doing our duty. So when a person is able to do like this, then he says Sthita Prajna, gets the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita completely. So he is able to use intelligence. So Buddhya Yukta, who is able to act with intelligence. So that's what Sthita Prajna means here, basically Buddhi. So Buddhi, when our Buddhi is very well established, so then that person is known as Sthita Prajna. He has achieved Sthita Prajna. He has attained the Samadhi status. So that's what is known as Samadhi. Samadhistasya Kesava. So that is the Samadhi status. So because Arjuna also is asking Krishna, Sthita Prajnasya ka bhasa Samadhistasya Kesava. So Sthita Prajna means Samadhi, meaning one who has achieved the steady intelligence. That's what the status of Samadhi. Then Krishna is answering all the questions in the Krishna is giving answers to Arjuna's questions in all the slokas, in the 18 slokas basically, in the second chapter from the sloka number 55 to 72. So we are studying all these slokas at length, and from these slokas we understand so much knowledge. So a person who is not affected by by the results, that means who is able to give up the attachment to the results. So that means who is able to give up the desires for sense gratification. So then only we will be able to give up the attachment to the results, when we are able to give up the desires for sense gratification. So, prajahati yada kaman sarvan partha manogata atmanyevat manotustaga sita prajnaga tadochet. So, we need to understand all these desires, they are purely based on our mental speculations, mental concoctions, mental speculations. There is manogata. So when we are just thinking about the sense objects, then the mind is just pondering over that, mind is trying to think in various ways to gratify. So that way, all the things, everything is produced in the mind. The desires are coming in our mind. The desires are entering in our mind. And how they are coming, first of all, they are coming because our mind, when we think about the sense objects, then it comes immediately, the desires will come. The attachment comes. The desires means the kama. The kama comes, the desire comes only when we think and more about the sense objects, then we will develop more and more attachment to them. So the property of mind is, whatever it thinks, it is going to develop, it is going to get attached to that. So if you think about the material sense objects, we are going to develop attachment to them, whatever it may be, whatever type of sense objects, everything. So if the mind is thinking about it a lot, then we are going to develop attachment on them. If the mind is not thinking about the sense objects, then we are free. We are not getting attachment. So if the same mind thinks all the time about Krishna, then we are going to develop attachment to Krishna. That's why this entire Bhagavad Gita is about Krishna is teaching us that you always think about me, always think of me, manmana. All the time you think about me and develop attachment to me. So that way, if we know, based on this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, how to focus our mind on Krishna and how to remember Krishna, and if we always think about Krishna, tasmat sarvesu kalesu mamanusmarat yudhyacham. So all the time you actually remember me. Even while fighting, you remember me. Tasmat sarvesu kalesu mamanusmarat yudhyacham. Even while fighting me, you remember me. That's what Krishna is telling Arjuna. So that way, if we are able to remember Krishna all the time, so then we are going to develop attachment only to Krishna. Otherwise, if you don't know, if you don't have this Bhagavad Gita knowledge, that means we will not know about Krishna at all. We will not know that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead if you don't have this Bhagavad Gita knowledge. So then it is very difficult for us to remember Krishna because we won't even know about Krishna. Then how are we going to remember him? First of all, to remember someone, we need to know about that person and we need to develop love towards that person. We will remember someone whom we love so much, correct? Even in this material world, if someone loves someone else, all the time the mind keeps on remembering that person only, all the time. All the time mind remembers that person only, all the time. So like that, if we develop love towards Krishna, then we are going to remember Krishna only all the time. Because we'll get attached. So in this material world, when we get attached to material sense objects, it's very difficult for us to come out of that. Because that attachment becomes lust, basically kama, then anger, then delusion. Then we are going to lose our intelligence, then confusion, delusion, then memory is bewildered, then intelligence is lost. All these things are going to happen. But if we are able to remember Krishna all the time by knowing with the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, by understanding that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and our goal is basically it's not only our goal. When we know about Krishna, he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, we will fall in love with him. So that way we will start remembering him all the time. So that should happen with the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. When we get the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, that will automatically happen. That we will keep on remembering Krishna only. We will connect with Krishna. We will develop attachment to Krishna. And we will do everything for Krishna. So that way we will dedicate this life for Krishna only. So that way we will be able to gain intelligence. We will be able to become Sita Prajna. So when that happens, we are no longer connected to this material world. So that means we are no longer disturbed by whatever happens in this material world. Dukkesu anudvigna manaha sukesu vigata sprighaga vitaraga bayakrodaga sitadir muniruchade. So one who is free, dukkes anudvigna manaha means one who is not disturbed in mind when there is distress. That's what dukkes anudvigna manaha. And sukes vigata sprighaga. So also one who is not elated when there is happiness. Sukes vigata sprighaga. So free from attachment, fear and anger. So he is said to be a sage of steady mind. Sitadir munir uchchade. So that kind of quality we need to develop. So that is going to happen when we get this Bhagavad Gita knowledge fully. When we realize we are not the body, and when we understand that we are the soul, and then with that knowledge, when we apply this knowledge, it is this Bhagavad Gita is the knowledge we need to gain, and then we need to use. If you apply this knowledge in our life, in our day-to-day activities, in all the activities, if we just act based on this Bhagavad Gita knowledge, that's what the application of this knowledge. So then we are going to remember Krishna more and more. Then we are going to detach ourselves from this material sense objects. That's why Krishna said that the tortoise, yatha samharate chayam, kurma anganiva sarvasagam. The kurma, the tortoise is able to withdraw its limbs within its shell when it senses the problem. So, yatha samharate chayam kurma anganiva sarvasagam. Similarly, we should be able to withdraw our senses from the sense objects. Indriyani indriyarthebhya. So that talent, that skill we need to develop. That is the main thing. We should be able to withdraw our senses from the sense objects. If we are not able to withdraw our senses from the sense objects, then we are going to be bound. Then we will be struggling. Then we will be suffering in this material world. If anyone, if in this material world is not able to withdraw the senses, so that means not able to bring the senses under the control of ourself, so then it is going to be a problem for us in our life. So Bhagavad Gita gives us the knowledge, gives us the way, very clear instructions about how to keep the senses under our control. So many times repeatedly we studied that with Bhagavad Gita, we are going to develop love towards Krishna, and we are going to serve Krishna, and our life will be full of Krishna consciousness. So then with that love, then Krishna is going to give us intelligence. So that's why our buddhi will be very well established. So when we get that buddhi, when our intelligence is very well established, so then with that intelligence, we will be able to control our mind. So with our mind, we will be able to control our senses. So it all starts with ourselves studying this Bhagavad Gita. This Bhagavad Gita starts with Bhagavad Gita. Because when we study Bhagavad Gita, only all these things are going to happen. Without knowing Bhagavad Gita, studying Bhagavad Gita, we will not be able to do all those things. So in order to develop that steady attachment to Krishna, that strong faith on Krishna, so that should be based on the philosophical understanding. It should not be simply based on the sentimental faith, because the sentimental faith can be easily shaken. Easily we will be brainwashed. But philosophically, if we are very strong, if we understand this Bhagavad Gita very well, then nobody can change us. It's not possible, because we know everything based on the science, like the king of knowledge, Raja Vidya, the king of knowledge, the science of Bhagavad Gita. Based on that, we know everything very well. We know that without any confusion. We know fully, we understand completely that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. If we know that, then what else we need? Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Purushottama. Krishna is Purushottama. So Arjuna tells Krishna in the 10th chapter, Param Brahma, Parandama, pavitram paramam bhavan purusham saswatam divyam adidevam ajam vibhum. So Krishna is the Param Brahma. So if you are Brahman, Krishna is the Param Brahman. And Krishna is the Parandama. Krishna is the ultimate destination. Parandama. Param Brahma, Parandama, Pavitram, Paramam Bhavan. And Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So if you get all this knowledge, if you understand that Krishna is everything and Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, that's what we need. Then we know everything will be going right in our life. Then everything will go perfect in our life. If we realize this fact, this scientific fact that Lord Sri Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, based on the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. So that's why this Bhagavad Gita knowledge is very, very important, because we know about Krishna only in this Bhagavad Gita, not from anywhere else. Only in Bhagavad Gita, only Krishna is teaching us about himself. Only in Bhagavad Gita, only Krishna is clearly explaining to us that we are the soul, we are not the body, we are Atma. So that way, this Bhagavad Gita, only 18 chapters, 700 slokas, if we fully understand, then we know about Krishna very well. Then we will be able to dedicate our life unto Krishna only. We will be able to connect ourselves with Krishna and do everything in Krishna consciousness. So all the work, whatever we do only because Krishna likes it. That's it. Because Krishna likes it, because Krishna wants it, that's why we do it. Not for anyone else's satisfaction. There is no need to individually satisfy different people in this world. If we just satisfy Krishna alone, it's enough. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, if he is satisfied, then that's all we want. Nothing else, nothing more than that. And what Krishna wants, he is clearly explaining in Bhagavad Gita. We understand it, everything completely in Bhagavad Gita. So that way, if we study Bhagavad Gita fully and understand it fully, that means we are listening to Krishna, we are understanding completely what Krishna wants from us, and that way we will be able to satisfy Krishna also. Because with the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, we know exactly what the Supreme Lord wants from us. His expectations are understood very clearly with the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. That means God is interacting with us through this Bhagavad Gita knowledge. So we are able to hear from the God. God is talking to us through this Bhagavad Gita knowledge. So if we understand this Bhagavad Gita completely, so then we will also understand what Krishna wants from us, and then if we do it, we will be able to get ourselves freed from this material bondage, material bed. So in the second chapter, we finished 68 slokas. So especially in the last slokas, we understood a lot of things. So when a person focuses on the sense objects, when we think about the sense objects, a person develops attachment for them. From such attachment, desire develops. Then from desire, anger arises. From anger, delusion arises. From delusion, memory is bewildered. When memory is bewildered, intelligence is lost. We know how our intelligence is, we are losing our intelligence. And when we don't have intelligence, when we don't have steady mind, if you don't have intelligence means we cannot have steady mind. We can have only steady mind, we can control our mind, we can have steady mind only if we have intelligence. If you don't have intelligence, then our mind, we will not have steady mind. So if you don't have steady mind, then there is no peace of mind. That's what we studied last week. If there is no steady mind, then there is no peace of mind. Then if there is no peace of mind, where from happiness comes? Asantasya kuta sukham. Asantasya kuta sukham means where from happiness comes when there is no peace of mind. So in order to gain peace of mind, we need to get steady mind. In order to gain steady mind, we need to have intelligence. In order to gain intelligence, we need to understand this Bhagavad Gita knowledge and connect with Krishna. We need to develop love towards Krishna. So then only we will get intelligence. Tesam satata yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam dadami buddhi yogam. So when anyone who is always engaged in worshipping me with love, that's it. Satata yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam dadami buddhi yogam. So I give the intelligence by which they can come to me. When anyone who worships me all the time with love, that's it. Priti means love. When we worship Krishna out of love, then we will be able to gain intelligence. That's what buddhi. So prasade, when we are able to gain Krishna's mercy, prasade sarva dukkhanam hanirasyopajayate prasanna chetasohi asu buddhihi paryavartistade. So we studied that Krishna taught us prasade sarva dukkhanam. When we are able to get the mercy of the Supreme Lord, then all our problems, the struggle in this material world is completely over. Then our intelligence is very well established. So all these things are possible with the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. So then last week we studied, Krishna said that Indriyanam ki charatam yanmanonu vidiyade tadasya harati prajnam vayur navam ivambasa. So the senses are roaming. The senses are roaming. The senses, we know that the senses are going here and there. The senses are not in one place. When we walk out, or even when we are sitting in our home, our eyes are opening, our eyes are opened, eyes are seeing a lot of sense objects. So that way our eyes are interacting with the sense objects, different kinds of sense objects. When we watch movies, or when we go out, when we go to mall, when we go outside here and there, our eyes are interacting with so many different sense objects. So our mind immediately goes after those sense objects because our eyes are seeing them. And when we hear about the sense objects, when somebody is talking about the sense objects, we are hearing about the sense objects. So through hearing also we are interacting with the sense objects. And then what we want to enjoy. Then if you want to enjoy, for example, the tongue, we want to taste the sense object. So that way our mind, when it goes after even one of the roaming senses, Indriyanam ki charatam yanmanonu vidiyade tadasya harati prajnam vayurnavam ivambasa. So that will carry away the intelligence. Tatasya harati prajnam vayurnavam ivambasagam. There was this sloka we finished in the second chapter, the sloka number 68. So there is just like a boat on the water is swept away by a strong wind. Even one of the roaming senses on which the mind focuses can carry away the intelligence. So that's why vayurnavam ivambasagam. So then we finished with the 68, I said. So that was 67. And in the 68th sloka, Krishna is teaching us that Tasmatasya mahabaho nigrihitani sarvasaga indriyani indriyartebhyagam tasya prajna pratistita. Therefore, O mighty armed Arjuna, tasmadasya mahabhagam indriyani. So tasmatasya mahabhagam nigrihitani sarvasaga. So you control all the senses, all the mind senses. So that's why indriyani indriyartebhya. You bring your senses from the sense objects. So indriyani indriyartebhya tasya prajna pratistita. So we should know how to bring our senses from the sense objects. Our senses should be under our control. We should not let the senses go on its own. That means when we sense the danger, we should be able to bring the senses under the control of ourselves. That is going to be possible only if we are free from attachment and aversion. As long as we are not free from attachment and aversion, it is not possible for us to withdraw our senses from the sense objects. That's why raga dvesa vimuktaistu visayan indriyaischaran atmavasegi videyatma. So raga dvesa vimuktaistu. Raga and dvesa. Raga is attachment and dvesa is aversion. Vimuktaistu means freed from. So freed from attachment and aversion. Raga dvesa vimuktaistu visayan indriyaischaran atmavasegi videyatma prasadam madhigacchati. So if you are able to bring the senses from the sense objects, Visayan means sense objects. So Ragadvesa Vimuktayistu, Visayan Indriyaischaran, if you bring all the senses from the sense objects under the control of the self, Atma Vasegi, at that point of time we will be able to we will be able to receive the complete mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. Now in the 69th sloka we are studying today, starting, as I mentioned, we are going to finish the second chapter today. So in the 69th sloka, Krishna is teaching us that Ya Nisa Sarva Bhutana Tasyam Jagrati Samyami Yasyam Jagrati Bhutani Sanisa Pasyate Muno Pasyato Mune Yanisa Sarva Bhutana. So what is night for all living entities? So that's what Yanisa Sarva Bhutana. Tasyam Jagrati Samyami. Samyami means a person who has controlled his mind, who has achieved steady intelligence. So that's what Samyami. So that's why Yanisa Sarva Bhutanam. What is night for all other beings is the day for the person who has controlled his senses. So it is not like literally day and night what we are talking about it. So both of them are living in different worlds. Because a person who has controlled his mind, controlled his senses, he has got the eyes of knowledge, jnana chakshusaka. As Krishna says that Utramantam sitam vapi bunjanama gunanvitam vimudana pasyanti jnana chakshusaka. So vimudana pasyanti. A fool cannot see this, whereas a person who has got the eyes of knowledge can see this. Pasyanti jnana chakshusaka. Can see what? How we are giving up one body and getting another body under the control of the modes of nature, and how we are trying to enjoy under the control of the modes of nature. All these things can be seen only by a person who has got the eyes of knowledge. So that's why for him, what is day is actually night for the other beings, because they are not able to see. And similarly, such devotees who has completely controlled their senses, samyami, who has conquered their mind and who has achieved the steady intelligence, and they will not get attached, they will not see this material world like how the person who's materialistic person sees this world. So that way, for them, for such an introspective sage, so it will be night, it will be dark, because he won't be able to see this world like this. He will be seeing this world differently with the eyes of knowledge. So that's why Krishna is teaching here that Yanisa Sarva Bhutanam Tasyam Jagrati Samyami. Then Yasyam Jagrati Bhutani Sanisa Pasyato Muni. So both of them are living in different worlds in the same place. So one who has got the eyes of knowledge, what he sees, the materialistic person cannot see. And how the materialistic person sees this world, and a person who has got the eyes of knowledge, he cannot see that way, because he is not attracted towards the sense objects. He is not attached to the sense objects. So that way both are living in different worlds. So that's why Krishna is teaching here. Like. And in the next sloka, Krishna is giving us very important knowledge that how to achieve peace of mind. So what is the formula to achieve peace of mind? So, Apuryamanam achala pratistam samudramapa pravisanti yatvat tatvat kamayam pravisanti sarve sasanti mapnoti nakamakami. Apuryamanam means being filled with water. So Apuryamanam. What is being filled with water? Samudra. Samudra means the ocean. The ocean is always filled with water by rivers. Many rivers are entering into the ocean from different directions. That's why there is Samudram Apa Pravisanti Sarve. Apa means water. Apuryamanam means being filled with water. Apa Pravisanti. Pravisanti means entering. Sarve from all directions. Apa Pravisanti Sarve. So through rivers, water is entering into the ocean from many directions. Like when the rivers are flooding, so much of water is going into the ocean. But the level of the ocean is always same. Achala Pradistam. So the level of the ocean is not changing. So Apuryamanam Achala Pradistam Samudram Apa Pravisanti Yatvat. Tatvat. Similarly, Kamayam Pravisanti Sarve. The desires are Pravisanti means entering. Entering where? entering into our mind, survey from all directions. So, tadvat kamayam pravisanti sarve. Like water is, like rivers are entering into ocean from many different directions. Water is entering. So, like that, desires are entering into our mind from all directions. Sasanti mapnoti na kama kami. One who is not disturbed by such desires is the only person who can achieve peace of mind. Sasanti mapnoti na kama kami. If we try to satisfy those desires, we are going to lose peace. We will not have peace of mind, no santi. Then no happiness. Then there is no happiness. So that's why in the very first sloka, when Krishna answered Arjuna's question, in the sloka number 55, Prajahati yada kaman sarvan partha manogatan. One who is able to give up all varieties of desires for sense gratification, which arise from mental concoctions. So that way, we know that desires are entering into our mind. It will come. It will come from different directions. But we should not be disturbed by those desires. So that's why Krishna is continuing in the next sloka, in the sloka number 71. Vihaya kamanya sarvan pumam charati nisprigaha nirmamo nirahankaraha sasantim adigacchati. Vihaya kamanya sarvan. One who is able to give up all varieties of desires. Kamanya sarvan. Pumam sarati nisprikaga. One who is able to live in the desireless state. That's what Pumam sarati nisprikaga. Vihaya kamanya sarvan pumam sarati nisprikaga. Nirmamo nirahankaraga. So nirmamo means not claiming anything. That means without any sense of proprietorship. Nirmamo. And nirahankaraga, that means free from false ego. Nirahankaraga, false prestige. So nirmamo nirahankaraga sasantim adigacchati. He attains the supreme peace of mind, everlasting peace of mind. Sasantim adigacchati. So in the last two slokas, the sloka number 70 and 71, Krishna is teaching us about how to achieve the peace of mind. Because peace of mind is the source of happiness. So that means when the desires are entering into our mind, we should not be disturbed by any such desires. Then only we can get peace of mind. So that means we are able to give up all varieties of desires. Then that means we are able to live in a desireless state. So free from nirmamo, nirahankara, free from proprietorship and false prestige, false ego. And all these things are going to, how is it going to be possible? Krishna is teaching in the 4th chapter. Shraddhavan labate jnanam tatparaga samyatendriyaga jnanam labdva param santhim nachirena adigacchati. I quoted this sloka many times. Faithful person gets the knowledge. Shraddhavan labate jnanam. And with this knowledge, we will be able to control our senses. Tatparaga samyatendriyaga. So only with the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, we will be able to control our senses. So that means we won't be disturbed by the desires which are entering into our mind. Like the rivers are entering into the ocean. So the rivers desires are entering, but we won't be disturbed when we are able to control our mind, when we are able to control our senses. So tatparaga samyate indriyaga. So that way, with the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, having faith on Bhagavad Gita, get the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, then use the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, by applying the Bhagavad Gita knowledge, control our senses, then jnanam labdva param santim nachirena adigacchati. Then we are going to get a param santim, the supreme, everlasting, supreme peace of mind. If we achieve that situation, that is known as Brahma Sthiti. That means we have achieved the Brahma Bhuta platform. That is the spiritual situation. So that is the status we will be in when we go to Krishna's world. When we get rid of this material world, then when we liberate from this material bondage, free ourselves from the 3 modes of material nature, when we go to Krishna's world, so we will be in that status known as Brahma Bhuta, Prasannatma. So Brahma Bhuta, Prasannatma. So that's why in the next sloka, Krishna, the last sloka in the second chapter, the sloka number 72, Krishna is teaching us very clearly that Ye sabrami sthiti partha nainam prapya vimukhyati sthitva syamanta kalepi brahma nirvanam richati. O Partha, that is Brahmi Sthiti. That is the spiritual position. What you have to achieve. That means not getting disturbed by any desires which are entering into our mind. So when we achieve that spiritual position, then after achieving this, one who is not bewildered at all, Yenam prapya na vimukhyati. That's what Nainam prapya vimukhyati means. Yenam prapya na vimukhyati. After achieving this spiritual status, one who is not bewildered until the time of death. Sitva syam antakalepi. So if you are able to be situated in the same spiritual status until the time of death, Sitva syam antakalepi Brahma Nirvanam Richati, then we will go to Krishna's well. We will be freed from this material well, then we will be liberated and we will be able to go to Krishna's well. So that means our goal here is to achieve that status, that spiritual status in this life, in this world. We should aim. It may take many lives, who knows? It all depends upon how much effort we put. That's what is very important. We should not be carried over by this so-called material busyness in these things. We have to be very careful. We should have this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita and act sensibly and utilize all the time available very, very carefully. It's very important. So then our goal should be only to achieve this status. So of course Krishna is ready to help us in this effort. We are not alone and Krishna is going to help us. So by Krishna's causeless mercy, we successfully finished the second chapter today. Hare Krishna. I will stop now and we'll discuss if any questions are there. Hare Krishna. I took a little bit more time today but we are finishing the second chapter today. Hare Krishna. So
Thank you so much, Guruji. We don't have questions, but we have almost 31 participants and I see some new names.
Yes,
so I will first unmute Samik.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, I don't know why he's not able to unmute. Okay.
It gives in second chapter, Guruji, to become Siddhaprajna or to get knowledge about Alpha.
The second chapter, because Arjuna is asking the question, second chapter can be split into three portions. When Arjuna asks the question about what is good for me, you please tell me. So in the first 20 slokas, in the sloka number 11 to 30, in the 20 slokas, Krishna taught very clearly that we are not the body, we are the soul. So he told Arjuna about the soul. So then from the sloka number 40 to 53, so in the 14 slokas, Krishna very clearly explained about the Buddhi Yoga. So basically, about the soul is called Jnana Yoga or Sankhya Yoga. So then Krishna explained about the Buddhi Yoga, the intelligence. So how to act with intelligence so that we can actually liberate from ourselves from this material bondage, karma bandha. Buddhya yukta yaya partha karma bandham prakasasi. How to free ourselves from the this bondage to work in this material world. So then at that time, once we are freed from the bondage to work or bondage to birth, karma bandha and janma bandha, so that status is known as samadhi status. So that's what Krishna finished. Then Arjuna asked the question, what are the symptoms of a self-realized person? How does he speak? What is his language? How does he sit? And how does he walk? So then Krishna in the 18 slokas, so basically it is 30, 14, 18. So in the first, not 30, 20. The 20 slokas about the soul and then 14 slokas about the Buddhi Yoga, how to act with intelligence. Then the 18 slokas about the symptoms of a self-realized person. That's what Krishna is teaching in the second chapter. You understand that, Prabhu? Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Thank you, Guruji.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Prabhu, Anil Sood Prabhu got unmuted and then again he got muted now.
Anil Sood, you can unmute and talk with Guruji. Yeah, I think he's having some slowness. I think again he's not. Yeah.
Now,
Hare Krishna Guruji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
I'm really finding so much pleasure in listening to Bhagavad Gita. Every word, every stanza is so potent, and even if we apply a little bit to our life, it changes everything. The whole concept, the whole perspective changes, and I'm finding it my life that things are much better now that after I started studying the Bhagavad Gita.
Yes, Prabhu.
I have no questions. Thank you, Guruji.
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you for sharing your realization, your experience. It's very nice. Yes, Prabhu. Bhagavad Gita gives us so much of like knowledge. It gives us, it makes our life very meaningful, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
You are from
Thank you,
Delhi,
thank you.
correct, Prabhu? Anil Sood Prabhu, you said you are from Delhi, correct, Prabhu?
Yes, I am from Delhi. I studied engineering in Kurukshetra.
Yeah, Kurukshetra. That's what I remember, in Kurukshetra.
Right from that time, I'm having bonding with Lord Krishna.
Very
Everything, the whole day, passes remembering Krishna only.
Yes, Prabhu. But are you in teaching now, Prabhu, position, or what kind of job? I remember something you said.
So
like
I'm still in business. We have electronics industry, electronics business in Delhi. Yeah.
Okay. Very nice, Prabhu. Very nice. Yeah, it's Krishna's.
I'm in active service, but I try to apply the Bhagavad Gita principles in my company also, and the results are really phenomenal. I'm so lucky to be born in a country where Krishna was born, where Krishna taught us, and that I'm able to study and little bit understand also the whole concept.
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu. We are all definitely very fortunate, Prabhu. There is no doubt about it. So, yes, Prabhu. Krishna's mercy. Now we are studying Bhagavad Gita as it is. That also Krishna's mercy, Prabhu. So, using this knowledge, I think we can do much more service to Krishna. Okay, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Guruji. I see a name Maumita. I think you're joining for the first time. I will unmute you. You can get introduced with Guruji. Maumita, you can unmute yourself. Maumita?
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Chapter 2 in 3 or 4 parts. Once you repeat that from which sloka to which sloka, which yoga, can you please, Guruji?
From 11th sloka
In chapter
to
2.
in chapter 2, 11 to 30. 11th sloka to 30th sloka is Sankhya Yoga.
Okay, Guruji.
That is Sankhya Yoga means it is basically that's what Krishna is saying. Esate Abhigita Sankhya. That means Jnana Yoga. You can say Jnana Yoga
Jnana
also.
Yoga.
Both are same. Jnana Yoga, Sankhya Yoga, both are same. Okay. So once
Okay,
you get
Guruji.
the knowledge, so you need to do Jnana Yoga also. We need to get it. We need to get the knowledge. Then we apply that knowledge. We need to get the intelligence. Then we need to act with intelligence. That's what is called Buddhi Yoga. So Krishna is teaching from the sloka number 40 to 53 Buddhi Yoga.
Okay, Guruji.
So then it is not Samadhi Yoga. It is basically Arjuna is asking the symptoms of a self-realized person. How does he act? How does he behave? So that is what Krishna is teaching in 18 slokas from the sloka number 55 to 72. 18
Okay,
slokas.
okay. 18 sloka. Okay, okay.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Guruji. Namaskar, Guruji. Hare Krishna.
That will take time for common person to achieve that level, because a life without desire for us, it's like nowadays it's not possible. But constant practice of, I think, Bhagavad Gita, that will give you a sense of living your desire and believing
That's
in
what I
Krishna.
repeatedly say, Mataji, like I said, that just studying Bhagavad Gita and giving this knowledge, spreading this Bhagavad Gita is enough. Mataji. So that will automatically will
It will
give
take
us.
time. Yeah, maybe one life, two life, maybe many lives, as you're saying.
Whatever lifetimes it takes, let's not worry. But what we are supposed to do is that we need to study, understand Bhagavad Gita, and teach Bhagavad Gita, spread Bhagavad Gita. These two things, if we just do it, that will automatically come, Mataji. We don't have to right now think or worry whether it's possible or not, but it is going to happen automatically.
Yeah, because we cannot focus on those things, as our main goal is to first to learn Bhagavad Gita, to
Yes.
understand Bhagavad Gita, and to just explain what we learned from it to others also. I think that is most
Exactly, Mother. These two things, if we do, it is enough. Study, understand Bhagavad Gita, and spread Bhagavad Gita, spread Krishna's message. Only these two things we do it, everything rest is taken care, Mataji. Everything automatically, these qualities will come to us. We don't have to strive like alone for that. It will come. It will automatically. Krishna is going to because with the knowledge brings everything, Mataji. It's so these are the only two things: study Bhagavad Gita and teach Bhagavad Gita. That's it.
What is the exact meaning of Sankhya Yoga? Means what is the meaning of Sankhya? Means
Sankhya means it's the knowledge, Jnana Yoga, whatever theoretical knowledge. Sankhya is exact meaning is theoretical knowledge.
theoretical knowledge. Okay.
Theoretical knowledge.
Thank you so much.
You are understanding the theory and then you put the theory into practice. So that's what is called Karma Yoga, or simply you call it as yoga. So Jnana Yogena Sankhyanam Karma Yogena Yoginam. That's what Krishna says in the 3rd chapter. We will study. Next week, when we study that, we will study about this matter. Hare Krishna.
Guruji, I will unmute Babu. Babu, you can unmute and talk with Guruji.
Hare Krishna, Guruji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Guruji, do you have any other timing, Guruji, other than the 7 o'clock English?
You mean other timing, to teach other timings you are talking about, Prabhu?
Yes, Guruji.
Right now, since this time everyone it is convenient, that's why I'm doing it, Prabhu. So because this itself takes a good amount of time, correct? So then I'm doing it in the evening time. I'm doing it in the Tamil. So, but why you are asking like that, Prabhu? Is this time not convenient?
No, it's okay. I'm continuing in this only. But the thing is, I'm practicing yoga actually in the morning. No problem. I'm covering it up. But the only thing is, I want some other timing so that if I miss also, I mean, direct I want to communicate like.
If you miss, Prabhu, you can go through the YouTube.
Yeah, it is coming, Prabhu.
Yeah.
It's for India. It's only this is the one group, right? As you were telling something, you have other groups also.
Okay,
all
the groups the same timing only, Prabhu, because in the WhatsApp only 250 only. Oh, that's why you're asking this question. Only 250. Okay, I understand. So only 250 members only maximum can have. So that way we are having about 16 WhatsApp groups. Now when it gets filled, then we will add into the next WhatsApp group like that. So, but this is the only time we are teaching in English.
Okay, yesterday I asked actually to add my number to Tamil group, Guruji. So
you were the one who asked to add the Tamil group. Okay,
yes,
okay.
Yes,
so yeah, I know that's what I was confused. So I was thinking that it was Rajiv Prabhu. So let me confirm your
the negative thoughts. We have to do whatever the ways we are able to do. We have to do in a positive way. Isn't that you have taught right now?
Yes,
Guruji.
That is correct. Yes, everything we need to do it for Krishna without getting affected by the results.
Yeah.
So it's going to happen automatically when we get this full knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
We successfully finished the 2nd chapter. Now we'll start the 3rd chapter. In the other days, we are already in the 9th chapter. So that way, Krishna is now giving us the opportunity to study the entire Bhagavad Gita.
That means we have to do the Atma Samarpan. Is it right?
Yes,
we are supposed to.
We need to surrender ourselves unto Krishna. That's what Atma Samarpan. We need to offer. We need to do everything as an offering unto Krishna. We need to do everything for Krishna. Yes,
Yeah.
the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita.
Thank you, Guruji.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Unmute Palpandi Prabhu. Palpandi, you can unmute and talk with